Hey beauties, so today I'm going to do this soft cut crease look for you.
Hey beauties, this is my first talk over tutorial, so please don't mind. I wasn't sure that's what I was going to do at the beginning, so I'm talking to you there and I'm talking to you here. So I started off today with my eyelids being primed with the eyeshadow primer, and then I put some of the organza pressed powder over top of that to help me be able to blend things into the crease. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the liner shader brush, I'm using the liner side to create a crease above my natural crease. So I'm using, down there in front of me, you can't see obviously, I have eyeshadow palette 2. So I'm using the dark matte brown color, which is called Cocky. So what I'm doing is I'm creating the outer edge of where I want my eyeshadow to go, which should be sort of like the outer edge of your eye to the end of your eyebrow. So I don't want it to go any further down because sometimes it can make eyes appear a little bit droopy, and that's definitely not what anyone is really going for. So I just want to draw that line to make sure that I did that, and now it's time to do the other side and try to make them match, which, as we all know, when you do anything like this, it's practically impossible. So I'm just trying to get a spot above where my natural crease is and just softly pencil it in with a liner brush. With the color Cocky, which is a matte brown, so you can use any matte brown, and just kind of map out where I'm going to have this soft cut crease. So now I'm putting my hair back because it's really annoying me, and if you see me, I frequently have it up in a ponytail, so I don't even know what to do with myself when it's down. Okay, so now that I've got the basics mapped out, what I'm going to do is use the liner shader brush. I'm going to use the liner side and the shader side, and I'm going to keep going in and trying to deepen up this line, and I'm going to blend it up above the line. So I'm not going to blend any of this down because the down part is where I want to put something shimmery, something pretty, something bright, but I'm trying to create the illusion that my crease is higher than it actually is, so I want this shadow to go up higher. So this is, again, great for hooded eyes, whether it's mature or you were born with hooded eyes. Mine I was born with, and then as I've gotten older I've noticed that it's become a little bit more pronounced. So I'm just using the shader brush to blend it out because I'm doing a soft cut crease. So I do want there to be a definite line in between what I'm going to put on my eyelid and what's above the crease, but I really am just kind of slowly building it up. Now what I decided to do here is to make the color pop a little bit more on my eyelid. I took some of the concealer in Scarlet, and I'm using the kind of eyeshadow pad thing there to put this on the lower part of my eye. So I just wanted to kind of get rid of any of the veins and anything that you can see on there and just have it be almost white so that whatever color I put on there shows up really vibrantly. So to make sure that it doesn't crease, I dipped this little makeup pad into my pressed powder in organza as well and put that over top just to kind of set the concealer on my eyelid. Okay, so now I'm going back into Cocky, and I can't seem to decide where I want it to end on the outer corner of my eye because I know that you can kind of end it and make it like an outer V, or I could just sort of let it go like that where it's in like a cat eye shape. So I'm kind of debating that here and deciding how I'm going to do that outer edge. So I'm just continuing to mesh in the color Cocky with the shader brush and the liner brush and just kind of shade it in and just sort of see where I want that end to go. So I'm just again putting more on with the liner brush and then blending it with the shader side, okay, because I really want this to be a soft look. I want it to be subtle, and here's where I decided that it's going to be a little less subtle. I went in and decided to start dipping into the black. So I do not shy away from using black, even though I'm quite pale and out of frame during this portion. Even though I'm quite pale, I'm completely comfortable using black eyeliner, using, whatever I want. So I was getting frustrated because I wasn't sure where this look was going, in case you're wondering. So here's where I'm debating. Am I going to do that sort of outer V edge, or am I going to do just where it kind of like goes off and shades into nothing? So I'm still kind of debating that here as I'm doing this. And what I decided to do was start dipping into the black shadow, which is called Peppy in palette 2. So the three colors that I'm using in this crease are the 3 matte shadows from Addiction Palette number 2. So the lightest one is Taupe, or Determined, but it's like a cool taupe brown type color, cool tone. So here's where I got smart and decided to get the Shine Makeup Wipe and make the line, because duh, that would be so much easier. So then I decided to kind of shape it up a little bit underneath. So I'm sorry this is such a work in progress, but it takes so many times to create the actual look and get the finished product that sometimes I forget how many times I fix it and go back again. So I used the Shine Makeup Cloth to take off some of the shading that had gone down onto the lid and to sharpen up that outer edge, because I decided that I just sort of wanted it to blend off into the distance. So I was dipping in with the Determined shade and blending that out. This is a matte color. Then I was using Cocky, which is a dark brown and a matte color. And then finally, when I decided subtlety has never been my strong suit, I decided to dip into Peppy, which is the black matte shadow, and start blending that into my crease. So that's what I was doing in the crease and above. Now here I decided to use the cream shadow brush, and I dipped it into some rose water and Curious, which is one of the lighter shimmer pigments, and decided to put this on the lower part of my eyelid and the inner portion of my eyelid to sort of also be a highlight. So here I am deciding that Curious, which is a light white, is not that exciting, and I want to put some Sassy in there. So Sassy is the pigment, and it's shimmery pink, so I mixed this again into like sort of a paste below myself with the rose water so that it would go on more vibrantly and more nicely. So I put this on the outer half of my like mobile lash line, and here I am again, still can't figure out that end because I just wasn't sure how I wanted to go. So again, I'm just going to keep blending. There really is nothing wrong with a lot of blending. Also, I'm going pretty far in on my inner corner. I don't really have, even though I have very hooded eyes, I don't really have a problem going into the inner corner and keeping that darkness there. So it's completely up to you. If you would rather keep that more towards the outer edge, you can absolutely just apply and blend on the outer edge and just don't take your brush that far in. Okay, so then I decided to take Cocky on the liner brush and put it along the edge and down onto my lower lash line. Because typically, if you do a lot on your outer ends or your upper lash line, you want to do something that sort of corresponds on the lower lash line as well. Okay, so I'm going to take Cocky, and I'm going to take, with my finger, and I'm going to take, sorry, going out of frame again. And I'm going to take Determined and do the same thing. I'm going to do the lower lash line. So I'm not going to take the black on the lower lash line, because I do think that will be reasonably stark. So I don't want to do that. And as you see, I did eventually decide to go around and make like an outer V, in case you were curious, since I was debating on that the entire time and not sure what I was going to do. So what I'm doing now is deciding what I'm going to do on the lower lash line. So again, I just took and blended in with my finger on the lower lash line, Determined and Cocky. And now I am putting Sassy mixed with the rose water all over my lower lash line and my mobile lid. And I'm also putting it on my lower lash line. And blending it in with the Determined and Cocky that I have down there, because I want this to be a very cohesive look. The only look that, or the only color I have on the top that I don't have on the bottom is the Peppy, which is black, and I really just didn't want to take that onto the lower lash line. I thought Cocky was sufficient. So now I'm lining my upper waterline. So you can do it as I just tried there with my eye open, or with your eye closed, and then sometimes that happens. You get it on your eyelid, and it's just, So line your upper waterline with whatever eyeliner you typically use. I decided to go in with Perfect, which is black. I could have used Prim, which is a light brown, or I could have used Proper, which is a dark brown. So whichever one you instinctively go to, I would do that. And then I decided to go along the upper lash line as well, very lightly, very small, because we have hooded eyes. We don't want to take away more of that precious lid space. But I decided to go over that and put Perfect eyeliner. So the Kohl eyeliner is now on my upper waterline and my upper lash line. Okay. The camera really does move on its own. I'm officially, yeah, that's totally what's happening here. Okay, so I'm just adding Sassy, making sure I have the color nice and vibrant and beautiful on the lower part of my lid. I really want that to be very vibrant and pretty, and mixing it with the rose water gives it that really beautiful look. And again, I finally wise up and use the shine remover claws for what they're good for, which is removing makeup. Okay, so now I used my finger and dipped into Determined. I wanted to smoke out that bottom lash line a little bit more. I had already used the liner brush with Cocky and Determined, but I really wanted to smoke it out. I'm comfortable with smoking mine out more. It really depends on you, what you're comfortable with. So I decided to add a little bit more with my finger. Okay, so now I'm curling my lashes with my Uemura eyelash curler. I will leave the link for that below. I got that from Amazon. That's where I get most of my stuff. If it's not from Unique, it's from Amazon. Okay, and I am applying lashes liberally. So you should definitely apply a good amount of mascara. This is a going out night type look for me, so I would apply to top and bottom, and I would do multiple coats. So that is what I am doing here. So I made sure to curl my lashes and to apply mascara. Mascara is very important, especially for those of us with hooded eyes. You really have to rock mascara. I don't do false lashes very often, but I absolutely do lots of coats of mascara pretty frequently because it really does make a difference. It makes our eyes look bigger, more wide open, and it just is very flattering to the eye. So there I am looking a little more satisfied with my look that is coming around here. So I did lashes, so I did gel, fiber gel, and I did the lower lashes as well. You probably can't tell here, but you will see a little more close up in the picture for this tutorial, and if you follow me on social media, I will have posted it there as well. So I put mascara, 2 coats, top and bottom, lash line, and here is a picture of the finished product. Thank you guys so much for watching.